Welcome to another episode of Mid-Atlantic Garden Hack. My name is Joel. Let's go see what we've got in the garden today. I wanted to do a follow-up video on the potatoes that I was growing about a month ago. And so let's go ahead and look at these potatoes, see how they're doing, and talk a little bit about what the next step would be if you're trying to grow some of these yourself. Here are the potatoes we've been growing, and these have been going for about a month. You can see that in this bucket, we've had some significant growth. Basically, these plants are probably about 20 inches tall. If you look at the distance from the dirt up to the top of these plants. And really, they can grow probably to be double the height that they are. And once they're starting to mature, they're actually going to put out some flowers. Those flowers are basically an indication that the plants are getting to the point where they're putting out small potatoes, and as the plant starts to die, then you'll realize that the potatoes are starting to get to the size you want to harvest them. These potatoes here are your typical Idaho potatoes, and they're not growing quite as quickly. Actually thinking about pulling these out, putting them in a different bucket, and then adding some red potatoes here so that I have about a month in between the harvesting of this bucket and the harvesting of this second bucket. Basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some of this composted dirt, and basically this is just some leaves from a wooded area back behind our church. And this has been composting for years, really. Very nutrient rich. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this dirt here and I'm going to add it into our bucket here. Just like that. And I'm going to fill the bucket up till basically it's going to be to the top of our bucket. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow our root system to really develop in that space between where we started our potatoes and basically the top of the soil. And so you're going to have potatoes that are going to be growing all in that area. So now you can see what we've done. We've added soil up around these plants, and I'm going to give it another probably month to month and a half, and I wouldn't be surprised if these plants are getting close to being ready to harvest some potatoes. Also trying to get some greens started for the garden. You can see we have some broccoli and cabbage going here. We have some Swiss chard here on the end. A lot of lettuce that we got going. Then in this bin right here, we have carrots. I also have some celery that's getting started. And then this bin right here is a little bit further along. You can see the lettuce is really starting to grow. And really looking forward to getting some greens going here as soon as the weather's warm enough to get started. Also wanted to show you some of this we got going right here. Basically, we took some celery that we got from the store, and after we removed all the celery stalks, what was left, planted it in the ground, and you can see that these are really starting to come. Also doing the same thing over here with some of the garlic. And really like to get a lot of garlic going because I'm going to introduce that into the bed where I'm growing tomatoes when we get to that time, and it'll help keep some of the pests out. Also, it'll add to the flavor of the tomatoes that we're growing. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that gives you some ideas about things that you can be working on here as we are going to start warming up here in the next month or so. And I hope you guys have a great garden and maybe try some of these potatoes.